I'm CJ Deerfield, and for those of you just joining us, this is sound clip. This is Channel 7 News. This just in, a contest is being held in the nearby Tabard Inn. We're going live now with Scott Kenneth.
Mr. Miller! One moment, please, Mr. Miller. Can I get a quick word or two? Sorry, excuse that. This is my means of transportation. Yes, CJ Deerfield. I just got a hold of Mr. Miller. My name is Mr. Kensington, not Mr. Kenneth. Oh, Mr. Miller, can you please tell us about the tale?
I was just about to tell my tale before you interrupted me, but I have to hurry in. But if you catch up with me afterwards, I'd be glad to fill you up.
Oh, beautiful. CJ Deerfield, I got a date with the Miller. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Oh, dandy. Get a load of this.
Oh, come on in, I gotta start to tell you.
Mr. Miller, yeah, right away.
You can just sit over there in the back there.
Oh, sure. So, Miller, can you please tell me about this contest?
Well, there's a host, and he's having us tell these tales for a reward.
A host. Now, can you tell me about this host?
His name's Harry Bailey, and I don't know where he's taking us on a pilgrimage.
Wow, Harry Bailey. And what is, sir, I think you've had a couple too many. Can you just hold off till I finish the questions, please?
Yep.
This Harry Bailey, what is the reward for this contest?
Well, the reward is a feast paid for by all the other contestants.
That is a great reward. Now, can you tell me about your tale? Sir?
Get a lot of this. Well, there's this carpenter, and this kid Nick lives with him. And the carpenter's married to this young girl, Allison, and Nick wants to sleep with her. So one day during his work, he makes a pass at her and tells her that he wants to sleep with her. And later on, Allison and Nick discuss it, and she agrees. So then, Nick stays in his room for days on end, and his excuse was that he was observing the stars because a big flood is supposed to come. And then, he convinces the carpenter to set up this whole plan that Nick's devised to get away from the flood. And then when he's doing that, Nick and Allison sleep together. And then, what happened after that? This parish clerk, Absalom.
So what about this Absalom guy?
Absalom's a parish clerk, and he's in love with Allison too. So one night, he hears the carpenter's out, he doesn't know where, but the carpenter hasn't gone to work for days. So Absalom's a good opportunity for him to make his move on Allison. So he goes to the carpenter's house, and he starts saying all these sweet things up to the window where Allison is. And then Allison sticks her head out the window and says, "Oh, get out of here, there's no kiss up here for you." But Absalom just doesn't give up, and he keeps begging and pleading for a kiss. So Nick and Allison think it'd be funny for her to stick her butt out the window. So she sticks her butt out the window, and of course Absalom's gonna get a kiss. But he doesn't know it's her butt because it's so dark out. And then, so he puckers up and kisses her right in the quim. And after that, he's like, "Oh, what? A lady's not supposed to have a beard?" So he freaks out and he leaves, and Nick and Allison are just laughing at him. And then Absalom goes to his friend Gervas's house, who's a smith, and he gets this hot iron because he's going to get his revenge on Nick and Allison for sure. And he goes back to the carpenter's house, and he calls, "Oh, Allison, come out, I want another kiss." So Nick wants his turn for the fun, so he sticks his butt out the window, and Absalom's like, "Oh, I can't see where you are, it's too dark, make a noise." And Nick thinks it'd be funny, so he farts right in his face, and that's how Absalom knows where he is, and he takes that hot iron and shoves it right in his butt, cauterizes his bumhole.
I can't believe anyone would do something like that.
So of course, Nick freaks out, and he's like, "Oh, water, water." And then, I don't know if you forgot, but the carpenter is up there in that little boat hanging from the ceiling waiting for the flood to come. So he freaks out and he thinks there's a flood, so he cuts the rope and he falls onto the ground and breaks his arm twice. And then everybody comes and is like, "Hey, what's going on? Why is everybody screaming?" And everybody's like, "Oh, it's this guy, it's the carpenter, he's crazy, he doesn't know what's going on, he thinks there's going to be a flood." And that's how they trick the carpenter.
Get a load of this guy. That is a tale if I've ever heard one. Now tell me, do you think anyone was offended by this tale?
Well, I think the Reed was, but he's a carpenter.
Oh, that's understandable.
But he probably didn't like it because I'm Scottish, and he just doesn't like me in general.
So, what do you think are the chances of you winning this?
Well, honestly, I feel pretty good because you don't hear anybody else telling tales about cauterized bumholes and bearded quims.
That is true. That is true. Back to CJ Deerfield with an expert on literature and interpretation.
Thank you, Scott. That was Scott Kennedy reporting live. But get a load of this. I'm here with Meredith Meadows, an expert on literature and interpretation. Meredith?
Hi, CJ.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fabulous, and you?
Oh, I'm fine. But let's get down to business. What was your interpretation of the Miller's Tale?
Well, I jotted a few notes down, and let's just take a look at them. Oh! Get a load of this. Karma. It's immoral. Do unto others as you would want done to you. An example, Absalom getting revenge on Allison and Nick. You can't expect anything good to come out of that.
Oh, you can't. What other morals do you have for us, Meredith?
Let's see.
Let's see.
Gullibility. For example, Carpenter believing Nick in his foolish games about the flood. Can you get any more gullible than that? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Another one. You should always marry in your own age group. Like the Carpenter marrying Allison. She was young and beautiful, and Nick couldn't keep his hands off of her.
That is false. I have a 15-year-old Guatemalan wife, and I love him deeply.
Him?
Her. It is Guatemalan. Back to Scott Cornballs.
Here, live on the scene with Emily Green, who is a custodian here at the Tabard Inn. And she has witnessed a couple things that was going on during the storytelling, I believe, if I remember correctly. Can you please tell us about that, Emily Green?
Yes. The pilgrims came in, and I guess they all sat around, and this fellow, the Miller, he was telling a tale. I didn't quite hear the tale, but at the ending, I guess he must have offended a lot of the people because they got up, and a few of them screamed, "Ah, get out of here, you crazy Scottish bastard!" And then they all went to the bar, and I could tell he was drunk, so... And that's pretty much all I remember.
Well, thank you so much, Emily Green, for your time. And back to you, CJ Deerfield.
Thank you, Scott. I'm CJ Deerfield, and we're back with me on the floor. That's right. See, I've lost my desk, my papers, and my Guatemalan lovebird, Humphrey. Gah! And now, it appears as though I've lost my mustache. All thanks to that Scott
Kensington.
Kensington. Thank you, Scotty. Well, I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. This has been Channel 7 News on The Miller's Tale. What? What's that, Ollie? What?
Can you please tell me about the tale that you... What's the battery time? You're not drunk. Sir, I think you've had enough.
All tell me when you've had enough.
Okay.
So there's
What?
He's married to this young girl, Allison, and Nick wants to sleep with her. Won't. This parish clerk, Absalom, I'm so they're not, I can't even handle it. Why is this happening? I know. And then, this is what happens. Absalom puckers up and puts it right next to her brown hole. And then...
Back to CJ with an expert on literature and what the f was the other word? Back to CJ with an expert on why am I talking so. I am here. I am here. I'm here. And back to no.
Alright, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Cornballs. Thank you, Mufasa. Thank you, Scott. That was Scott Kennedy. Thank you, Scott. I'm here live with Meredith Meadows. We're going live now with Scott Kenneth, 15-year-old Guatemalan wife. life. But let's get down to business. What was your interpretation of my mustache is falling off?